So, I know I've been doing a lot of pond videos lately for my people who like, whoa! Oh man, I guess I walked up on them too fast. For my people who like ponds and like fish, you see it's morning time, these guys over here begging for food. I just got a new pump a couple months ago. It's running like a dream, it's doing a great job. Yeah, so let me tell you some stuff that I have been doing to maintain the pond lately. The net right here, I don't know if you guys can see it. It's kind of like an invisible looking net. But yeah, it's invisible to me now. I don't even notice it anymore. But this net, I basically keep it on there all year round. I never move it because I don't want anything feeding on my fish. As you guys may or may not know, I've had issues with I've had issues before where I had birds taking my fish and it sucked. So now I keep that on there all year round. Got this big tall weed growing over here. I don't even know what the heck it is. It's just something naturally occurring, and I mean it's getting a lot of water, which is probably why it's as tall as me. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep it there just because it kind of adds character to the pond. Looks like it's supposed to be there. But yeah, so basically it's September. It's the beginning of September right now in Jersey, and the thing is, this is the time of year where the well, depending on how the weather is shifting, you're starting to come into your fall weather. And for me, I took like a little trip out to the West Coast on vacation for about 5 days. Now during that week I come back and the temperature dropped from like 85 degrees in Jersey during like the middle of the day to about like 70. So it's a 15-degree decrease. And of course, with that being said, the nights are even colder. The nights are dropping into the 60s now. So, you know, you come back and you find that your plants, like this water iris here, actually this is a really nice, beautiful looking one right here. See, this strand's all nice and green. But yeah, you see the rest of it is kind of like burnt up and, you know, really receding, going into that fall stage. When that happens, the thing I love about water iris is it covers a lot of ground very quick. You only have to buy one. It's very cheap. It produces these beautiful purple flowers every year. And it literally just makes your whole like landscape around the pond look really nice, or aquascape, whatever you want to call it. It's not underwater, so I'm gonna just say it's a landscape. But yeah, so yeah, that's one thing I love about these things. Here's something I hate about them. When they die, these leaves that you'll see like right here, they sink to the bottom, and the strands in the leaves, the little stringy things, you know, basically, I don't know the scientific name of them. I don't study plants, guys. I'm an animal guy. But basically, these leaves, these little striations you see here, these little lines, they don't break down that easily, and they can gum up the pond pump. So a couple times during the spring, I have to pull up the pond pump and pull that stuff off of there. Pull up the intake where the pump is, clean that out, put it back on, and really just take a net and just grab all that junk out of here before it sinks. So that's one time where I actually will take the net off just to do maintenance, and then of course put it back on. So that's one thing I do during the fall. Another thing I do during the fall, it's still pretty warm out here. Like it's a nice warm day, and it's still the morning. Actually, yeah, it's about noon right now. So what I'm doing is I'm finishing off this summer food that I'm using. This is Koi Vibrance. It has a lot more protein. It's easy for them to digest during the summertime. As it starts to get colder, I'm going to switch them back to this variety blend, which is a mixture of I think it's a mixture of Koi Vibrance and the spring and fall diet. The spring and fall diet is mostly wheat germ. That comes in a blue bag. This one, I'm trying to find, yeah, here we go. It's a variety blend, a mixture of Pond Sticks, Koi Vibrance, and spring and fall. So the variety mix gives you like that mid-range of everything. So basically I'm gonna feed off the rest of this bag that has the high protein. This one, let's just call this one mid-protein, because as you can see it has some of the little orange pellets in here as advertised. probably open the bag and show you guys, if you guys really care. But yeah, if you look at the difference, this one has the orange and the grayish and white pellets, and this one, if you open it, bam, it's all orange. So after I feed off this, they're gonna go to this, and in the last couple of months, when you really get into that cool fall weather, that's when I'm going to be feeding them wheat germ. Wheat germ is basically going to put fat on them, so that way they'll have plenty of calories to burn slowly over the winter time when they hit that point where they're no longer eating and their body and their metabolism really slows down. And even though they're slowing down, they're not going to sleep, they're not in suspended animation where they're not moving at all. They're still, their heart is still pumping. Everything's just moving very, very slow. But the animals still need calories, and you don't want them to go into the winter without enough fat on them. You want them to have enough fat on them to survive, because that's a good 3-4 months without eating, and that's a long time. So that's what I do there. The main reason you don't want to feed these high protein diets when it does get cold, I'm gonna actually start giving them a little bit of food. But yeah, the reason you don't want to feed these as it gets colder, like I said, it's September. It's literally, summer's literally on the calendar. Whoa, just ending. So still pretty warm. We're just getting some cool nights here and there, but during the day, we're still getting hot days. But if it gets too cold and they're eating protein, here's the thing: carp fish, like goldfish, koi, they don't have stomachs, and because of that, it's just all intestine. So their digestive system is very different from ours. They can't digest those high amounts of protein when it's too cold. And remember, they're not like mammals where they produce their own heat within their body. You know what I'm saying? They're exothermic. So when the environment gets cold, their body's functioning differently. Everything's slowing down. So they can't process that much protein. So at that point, they're going to need more of a carbohydrate diet. And even when it gets really, really cold past another point, which I think is about getting towards 50 degrees. I have it written down somewhere, guys. I just don't remember offhand. But once it gets cold, you don't want to feed them at all, because they won't eat it. And you don't want that food breaking down in the water, because then it's just going to create more ammonia that the animal has to live in and swim in during that entire winter. And, of course, you're going to get ice over your pond. That ammonia is going to get trapped under there. It's just really bad for your fish. It could kill your fish. So, make sure, if you guys want to do a pond, make sure whatever food you're feeding, I don't care what brand it is. I don't work for Tetra or nothing like that. But make sure if you're going to give them like a Koi Vibrance, like a high protein diet, this is summer food. When you're transitioning, let's say from maybe like May, it's getting like warmer, coming out of the cold, and let's say September. That's when you can do the variety blend if you want. You know what I'm saying? You probably don't need a large bag. That's a very short period. When you get in the very beginnings of when the animal's coming out of winter, and when you're feeding the animal right before it goes into winter, that's when you want to use a wheat germ diet of some type in order to make sure that the animal's getting enough fat on it without giving it too much protein, so the animal can digest properly and it doesn't get sick. So, yeah. That's a little explanation of what I do for these guys throughout the year with feeding, and how I do a little bit of maintenance to make sure these guys come back. And honestly, guys, my goldfish produce every year. Hey, he's trying to get that piece of food. I'm trying to give that to him. Hopefully he drops a little of the net. He'll be back. He'll get it. There it goes. Or maybe it's another one. But yeah, my goldfish produce babies every year. Like all these smaller goldfish, like this one here. I did not buy that fish. That fish was born in this pond, I'm sure. Because the goldfish I started off with are very large. So yeah, that guy was born here. I haven't lost a single koi in a very long amount of time. The last one I lost was when the pump got gummed up, and I wasn't here for a very long amount of time. And the pond lost a lot of oxygen, and of course the biggest fish needs the most oxygen. So that's when my old blue Shishui koi bluey died, and that sucked. But that was like the only loss I've taken in the past couple of years. And yeah, these guys are doing pretty well. So I think my process works, They survive, they have babies, and they just keep going. But yeah, guys, that's about all I have for today. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you have any questions about ponds or any additional information about ponds. Guys, I'm not an expert. This is just what I do and what works for me. But if you have any advice or anything like that, let me know. And we can get a discussion going. Leave it in the comments. And have a great day. Peace.